back on my phone right now because I'm going to go live with my friend Maggie from Support and Feed. Some of you will know Maggie because she's Billie Eilish's mother, and during the pandemic, she had an amazing idea to start this incredible organization called Support and Feed to help support local plant-based restaurants, but also feed people that were food insecure in their area. And now it's all over the world. They're working so hard and they're doing so much amazing work, and Paramore is very lucky to have Support and Feed on tour with us. So I'm actually at Maggie's house. I don't really know much about Instagram, but we're gonna go over to Maggie's Instagram account.
Here's Hayley on
we're gonna do a live from Maggie's account.
Yeah,
correct. So
Maggie M. Baird.
Maggie M. Baird. Maggie M. Baird. So go over there and follow Maggie so you can keep up with all the good work that she's doing, and then you can also hang out and listen to us chat about.
I will tell you that Hayley was so kind, and she heard about Support and Feed, and she reached out to us, and we had a meeting with your team, and I went on the meeting, and we were on the meeting, and I was like, oh, Hayley's on the meeting.
I remember that.
I couldn't believe it because you were so concerned, and you wanted to help your community so much. And then you came over for cinnamon rolls, and
yes,
I told my kids, oh, by the way, when we have cinnamon rolls tomorrow, Hayley Lyons is coming, and honestly, they stood, they were both frozen, and they were like, did you say Hayley was coming over? I feel like it was the coolest I've ever been in my life.
That was so fun. Also, those cinnamon rolls are bomb. I know that, like, at this point, everyone that follows you knows that you're famous for them, but they do not disappoint in real life.
So nice of you. So you're on tour with the band, and you were so kind to invite Support and Feed to come along. We were at your eco village.
Yes.
You don't ever get to go see them.
Oh, I wish, but I see lots of photos and videos from it. I lurk, as healthfully as I can. I lurk on the internet to kind of keep up with what's going on. But it's like now also my hair dye company's out there too. So I feel like the second half of the tour, I need to be a little bit more out there because I want to see it. And it's made me really excited that people are actually going and using that space.
So
it's really cool.
Because if you don't know, the eco village is Reverb Eco Village, and they have a setup, and they have Reverb there, Support and Feed there, Good Dione there, and then they have local environmental organizations there. So if you're at the Paramore tour, always check out the Eco Village.
Right.
And we have the pledge. And you also made a video. The bands made a video before the show, reminding people to
take the pledge. Yes.
And why do you care so much? Because I just want to say that one of the things that blew me away about you is that you said to me once, I don't want to tour if I can't do something good for the world.
Oh yeah. I still say that because I think because we've been on tour for so long, and we started as kids, and it really was just fun. It was just like something we did after school. And now that we're adults and you kind of understand the responsibilities that you have and the impact that you have, I think that it makes, if you're not impacting people in a positive way, it kind of makes everything feel sort of futile. Like it just kind of, if we're just up there to kind of like make money and sort of go through the motions, it's not a fulfilling, that's not an exchange that I want to have with, especially as many people as we're lucky to play for now. I think that after COVID and getting to be home that was years, that everyone was stuck. I got so involved with our local community, and then I was like, well, now we have to leave it to go do what we love to do.
A good point.
So just trying to figure out how to bridge that gap has been really helpful for me to feel like I have purpose. Because, it's not that music isn't enough purpose. Music is such a great way to express yourself, and I think it's really connective for people. But I just think, at this point, I say it all the time, even to the guys when we are talking about new opportunities or things that we can do. It's just, man, if we're not using it, then we're kind of wasting it. And
it's a funny thing. I feel like artists, there was that time when artists were sort of discouraged from but it's so crazy because I feel like fans really want that. They want to know what you care about and what you stand for, and that you aren't just, of course you're giving this gift of this music and this wonderful experience with everything, but especially right now with the
Mhm.
climate crisis being so bad, and hunger around the whole world being at all-time highs.
Yeah.
It does seem like a terrible waste if you can't make something more of that moment, which you have so done.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's like it's also, I think that a lot of people, when they're just learning about whether it be climate crisis, or it could be a number of issues that are, all of them are pressing at the same time, which is just overwhelming. It's also important for people who have a connection to bigger companies or conglomerates or whatever to try and make change there, because it's like we can all do these little things every single day, but I think the pressure should be put on. Is that Haley? Hold on.
Sounds like she's gotten herself stuck somewhere.
Pepper. Oh, baby. Pepper was a little stressed when I came over.
She'll come out with those.
There you are. There you are, Pepper.
She'll just plant herself now.
You're okay.
Pepper is, as you all know, Pepper has been around a long time. She's getting older, and so we're caring for her, and she might kiss me. Oh, that's good.
You wouldn't expect that.
Not from that, from that growl. But yeah, corporations, and when you play an arena and you come in with requests to make changes, hopefully those stay, and then all the artists have those.
You just never know like it could just be a little nudge, but you never really know how that ripples out. So because we actually worked with Reverb when I was, oh my god, I was probably like 19 or 20 on the Honda Civic tour. But I'll be really honest, like we didn't know, we were like kids from the suburbs. My family wasn't like highly political in any way. I didn't know anything. So we get on the road and we're doing this incredible thing with Reverb, and we have no clue about it. The extent of our knowledge was like, oh, reusable water bottles and things like that. So to be able to have another chance and to be much more educated on the issue and much more concerned and aware of everything, I think is it's kind of redemptive.
Yeah. Oh, I love that way of thinking. I'm going to look at you in the camera because otherwise I'm like getting so close to you. Maybe I should look at you this way.
Okay, I'll do it too.
So I love that idea. It is redemptive, and I think we all have that feeling of like, I do, of like what we know. We don't know what we know until we know it.
Yeah, for sure.
And you look back at your life and you're like, I wish I would have known that. I wish I would have done that. But we always have the chance to do better.
Yeah.
And especially on a tour, we have such a big, incredible platform. You can actually make such big change. So what is it? I just want to say also, we're feeding people with Support and Feed thanks to you in Atlanta, New York City, Washington, D.C., Detroit, New Orleans, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, many more. There are meals going out with Support and Feed, because it's so important that we realize that the climate crisis is a global issue, and what we do affects other people. And that the people we're feeding often may be people that are experiencing food insecurity and are largely more impacted by climate change. So it's an intersectional thing, which is so amazing that you're doing that.
I love this. What you're doing got me really excited because I'm very passionate about racial issues, and fighting for justice in those areas has been something that I think before I even knew that I was a political person, I was passionate about those issues. And then the more that you learn, the deeper you get into any of this stuff, you do realize how intersectional it all is. So, in the beginning of COVID, when we were hearing like, oh, this is affecting marginalized communities worse, on the surface, people might be like, well, why and how? But I think when you really do the research and you have a genuine sense of concern or awareness about it, then it's just all so connected. And I think that being able to do work, it's like a tree with all these branches. Being able to sort of hit any of those branches, you're doing something that's affecting the whole, holistically. So it excites me because this is something you guys are tackling, something it would have been so overwhelming for me to ever try to get into by myself. And that's what made me so excited when I was watching your earlier video, like in the beginning.
Right.
Because I was like, well, this feeds right into other things that I'm already interested in and doing. And now it can it can bolster, they can bolster each other, you know?
I love it. I love that you're so in tune with it, and you were thinking of it in this holistic way, and then you've made this, you've kind of manifested this reality of doing so much on your tour. I mean, we talk about your tour all the time and what a big impact it's making, on people in the arenas understanding, people online understanding, and then impacting people on a personal level. I want to talk about your hair dye company, Good Dye Young. We talked about that one time before.
Yeah.
So how is that going? And I know you're at the Reverb Eco Village also.
Yeah, so we actually have a truck that's kind of following the tour, and it's exciting for me because for a long time I tried to keep Good Dye Young and Paramore as separate as I could. I think as a means to, like, I would love for Good Dye Young to exist whether or not I'm ever touring, you know, eventually someday, or you know, out there being like the singer of Paramore. So to be able to marry these two for the summer is really cool for Brian and I. Brian's my co-founder and my hairstylist and my best friend. But it's exciting because I think that, again, when you start getting into anything that is about, you know, like the same way that racial justice and food insecurity and climate crisis, it's all kind of connected. For me, when it comes to like mental health issues, the holistic, you know, the way that you can tackle that is a million different areas. And for me, self-expression through music is one thing, but there's also the art of expressing yourself through your presentation. And people being able to have a choice of how they want to present themselves in the world is really, really, I mean, it's so important. And now we're seeing how it's actually threatened by our, you know, maybe local government, maybe it's bigger than that, you know, in different ways. And I think, like, for me, Good Dye Young has this amazing opportunity to kind of be out in the middle of different cultural moments that are happening, whether that's in music or otherwise, and say, these are how you can make choices of who you want to look like and be like, and bring out the part of you that you maybe were too nervous or didn't feel confident enough to bring out. And that actually affects people's mental well-being. So, you know, and then you want to go further. It's like, if you're fully embodying yourself and you feel empowered, then you're going to have more bandwidth to do more, whether that be for other people or just to continue to empower your own self. So this is the kind of stuff that I get really passionate about, because it's just all, you can connect the dots a million different ways. And like, I feel really passionate about all that stuff. So I could talk about it for hours.
Well, I love that you said, I honestly never thought of it quite this way.
Yeah.
Which I really love, the power of, you know, things like this. And you must, because I know Billy does too, experience, and I do, you know, so many really heartbreaking stories.
Oh, dude, yes.
People suffering mental health challenges and depression, and artists too, so many, especially now, having really a hard time. And how is that for you? Like, I wonder, you know, it's hard to take it all in and feel that deep compassion and empathy all the time and pain.
Oh, yeah, compassion fatigue, is that's like the coined term for it. I definitely have to guard myself, like, maybe it's certain things that I watch or read, because I have a tendency to over empathize, and then I feel it in my body, and it kind of can take me down. And I'm someone that was diagnosed with depression and PTSD, and I don't feel, thankfully, I don't feel like that's as stigmatized as it used to be to just say out loud. So that's very freeing, and I think that's helpful to the process of healing. But like, it's an ongoing trying to figure out how to stabilize yourself and empower yourself and feel like you're getting what you need, so that you can also continue to pour out. Because like with my job, I'm actually very introverted, except for being one-on-one is perfect for me. But my job is to be with like thousands and thousands of people. And so I was doing therapy recently, and I was talking to the therapist about how it was like one of those aha moments where I realized every night when I'm on stage, I actually, without even always being conscious of it, I'm kind of worried about people that, like, I'm just like, oh my God, none of these people, I don't know what any of them are going through and what they're going home to. And we only have 2 hours with them. And what happens if we're not giving them what they need. You know, you can kind of like really internalize those things.
A lot of responsibility.
Yeah, and it's not actually, I know that it's not my responsibility, but that's just, there's just something about how I'm wired that goes there. So also being able to do things where Paramore, we can feel purpose in outreach and different, you know, connecting with organizations and stuff. I think that that helps me to understand that we are doing what we can. We are using our resources wisely, and we're also trying to put people around us that know better than us at times, so we can keep learning, you know. And I don't know, I think like it might, I almost feel like being in the industry for 20 years, it's kind of, it might have been easy for us to feel like we know everything we need to know. And I'm so grateful for the few years that we got to go home, and that COVID actually was such a moment for me to learn about what I can do through my job. It's kind of like reinvigorated my sense of, my focus and my purpose with all of it. Mental health, you know, outreach in other ways, and then obviously just that gives me more bandwidth to have more passion for just the music part.
Wow, that was so beautifully said. And I know there's comments about how impactful it is, you know, that you're talking about mental health. And I think it is for people just to be seen and heard. And also you hit on the fact that, you know, giving back to the world, volunteering, you know, that is empowering.
Yes. It is. Oh man.
Because it can be so discouraging, and you can feel like you're never doing enough, but taking action, having a volunteer experience, having something positive, I think for me is kind of the key to mental health. I don't know what I would do without that.
Yeah, if you're only focused inward all the time, it's like it gets really sticky in there. It's you know, you can it's like an infinite tunnel. But yeah, I think to be able to put your focus outside is so reorienting in like a really good way.
Yeah, sometimes it's so dark in there you can't do it. You can't get out of bed.
Exactly.
But the days that you can't get out of bed,
yeah,
it can be helpful. I just think you're a profound speaker.
Oh God,
you're so eloquent.
Oh,
and, you know, and so one of the things I love about you, Hayley, is you're so authentic, and you're so on stage too. You're just so genuine, and like you're an incredible dancer and you're an incredible performer, but you're just so honest and genuine. You know, all of it feels so genuine. And you know, we like to say Earth Day is every day, and I know you guys are doing this tour with Reverb on board to make it as sustainable as possible. And how has that been? Have you had good responses in the arenas and the crews? And
yes, 100%. And I think like the signups that we get for people taking the pledge, that's so cool.
So cool.
And it also excites me too, because there's, you know, like you start teaching people how they can feed themselves more consciously, and that has a ripple effect on their mental wellness as well. So I love that everything's so integrative, and Reverb's such a great organization because they're impacting the whole touring industry. So the more bands, the more artists that can really get involved in this sort of work, and also find organizations like Support and Feed that you have like a spirit connection to for some reason. I think like the more those dots are connected, the more that we actually make this bigger web. And I think it also helps to teach people who are coming to the shows, like, yes, like you can do everyday things that are impactful, but it's also not only just your responsibility. It's all of our thing that we have to do. So that's my favorite thing about having the Eco Village on the road. And I know, and I also love all the local organizations that show up too.
Such a great way, and all the fans can meet those organizations, which reminds me, we're going to do a plant-based food drive at the Forum.
Yes, I'm so pumped.
So if you're coming to the shows at the Forum, bring plant-based food that is not perishable. So boxed or canned. That is amazing.
I'm so pumped. And also I think Wolfie's is coming too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know if we should. We'll get the details.
No, I was supposed to say that. Yeah.
No, you can say it, but I don't know the details.
Okay.
10,000 people are like, we got there early. Wolfie's.
Oh God. Sorry.
No, it's good. It's good. Well, there will be good. So, I don't want to keep you forever because we are going to go on a delivery.
Yeah, I've never gotten to do this with you before. I'm so excited.
Okay, I am excited to do it with you, and we'll show you that too later. Everybody, I'm so grateful to know Hayley and for the band. Honestly, one of my favorite bands for so
Thank
long.
you. That means so much to me.
Someday we'll have to share that video of Billy performing the song.
That video. I didn't, also, I felt kind of creepy. I didn't realize it. I just have it saved on my phone now. So it's just kind of weird.
There's a video of Billy doing Ariel too. All I Wanted.
It is so perfect. It's so sweet.
Are you gonna do that song at the Forum? You'll be okay. I
Are
know,
you guys?
like the hardest songs. I'm gonna be there waiting. Because really one of my favorite songs ever. Among others, which I won't name them all. But anyway, thank you for being here.
Yeah,
I'm the biggest fan.
Thank you. I'm such a big fan of you. Literally, I'm a huge Maggie fan. I'm so thankful.
I don't deserve it, but okay, everybody. I won't take questions today because Hayley and I have to go do a delivery for Support and Feed, and we'll film that. And love you all so much. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for having me. I love this.
You're the best person.
Thanks.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I'll see you next time. Love
Love
you.
y'all.
Bye.
Love you, Violet.